Our Cayman Islands Music Association was established in 1981. It started a bit late because quite a few of our very talented Caymanian voices and Caymanian instrumentalists had passed on before. However, it was timely. Hence, we have been celebrating much about who we are in terms of voice and art. This evening, we are going to be presenting a number of awards to distinguished individuals who have contributed to the Caymanian music scene over time. We've got lifetime awards. We've got a Young Musician of the Year award. We have an International Success Award. We have got a Song of the Year award. And we've got an Icon Award. We've got Lifetime Membership Award. Our Lifetime Membership Award qualification starts with 50 years of continuous performance, being a founding member or a charter member of the Cayman Islands Music Association, and also being a past president or an icon. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us quietly. Thank you very much. I'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome our member of the Legislative Assembly, Mr. David White, who will soon become parliamentarian. David White. He is a member of parliament for Georgetown. I'd also like to ask you at this moment for you to bow your heads as we say a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for life. We thank you for the privilege of enjoying our journey now. We thank you for music. We thank you for art. We thank you for the Cayman Islands, which, though small in number, has been blessed with many, many talents. Tonight, we celebrate these talents because you've allowed us. Give us wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and help us to enjoy this performance. In Jesus' name, amen. At this moment, I'll invite our president of the Music Association, Mr. Sean Eric Smith, to join us on stage as we sing the national song.
Please stand.
Oh, land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair, with thy Creator's glory reflected everywhere. O sea of palest emerald, merging to darkest blue. Whene'er my thoughts fly Godward, I always think of you. There, verdant island set in blue Caribbean sea. I'm coming very soon. Oh, beauteous isle to me. Although I've wandered far, my heart enshrines thee yet. Homeland fair Cayman Isle, I cannot thee forget.
Thank you very much. Tonight also we will be enjoying performances by a number of musicians while we do our awards ceremony. I would like to, at this time, say thanks to the presence of youngsters who are placing music on the international scene in the name Cayman Islands. The Goldfire Awards, thank you so much for your presence. We'll be mentioning you a little later on. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the president of the Cayman Music Association, Cayman Islands Music Association, Mr. Sean Eric Smith, who is a Gold Medal of Merit awardee and also a Gold Heritage Cross awardee. Please pay your undivided attention to President Smith as he comes forward. A round of applause.
It's Heroes Day weekend, so I'm proudly wearing some badges that we don't rise and boast, toast, Yeah, coffee. Good evening, everyone, fellow musicians, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is my distinct privilege and honor to once again welcome you all to the CMEA's 12th annual Muzaic Awards ceremony. Before I go any further, I'd like to ask us to please observe a moment of silence. And I'd ask us to once again stand in solidarity to remember our fellow musicians, Mr. Hinton Connolly of the Brack Beach Boys, and also Mr. Stanley Stano Ebanks, percussion player from West Bay of many of our local bands, including most recently my band, Local Motion 345 and Swanky. And also for any of the other brethren that we have recently lost. Could we please stand and bow our heads and have a quick moment of silence? Thank you. Tonight I put on the full armor of God so that I may take my stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6:11. Can I get an amen? Thank you. Please be seated. Last year in my annual President's Address, I was upbeat and optimistic. With my previous exec of 2017-18, the CMEA annual revenues boasted a 100% increase. We had gone from out of the red into black, which is an accounting term for things are going good. We're on the uphill and climb. The CMEA annual revenues had not only increased, but we had just successfully worked along with the Pirates Week National Festival to reintroduce the National Song Competition with $10,000 as a cash prize. None of this could have been accomplished without the Ministry of Culture, but it was the efforts of the CMEA that brought this to the forefront. This was as a direct result of our role in the creation of the National Heritage and Cultural Policy, which was spearheaded by the Ministry of Culture. And for the first time in a long time, it seemed to me that the future of the CMEA would continue to burn bright. This is a future that was built on the strong foundation of the past of our founders, not one that chose to deliberately destroy our foundations and heritage to attempt to build a future. Sadly, this is not a problem that is exclusive to the local music community, it seems, but unfortunately is now an island-wide and more of a national epidemic. Out with the old and in with the new seems to be the common theme around our islands today. And with the new architects of our future showing complete or utter disregard for our ways of the past and the contributions we have made therein, this is simply not acceptable. This, my friends, is a colossal mistake. And as history has revealed, with previous failed attempts with that same disrespectful approach, it's completely wrong. So what do? Do we give up? Do we give in? Do we walk away from defending the right and the rights that collectively we have fought for so hard and for so long to establish? Or do we fight? Well, since quitting is not in my nature, I am sure that my answer to the question is clear. I'm a hippie whaler. So we will not go quietly into the night. We are musicians, and tonight with the successful execution of another Muzaic Festival weekend. This is a testament to that fight. And from this stage, I proclaim this victory, and the victory will proceed. Unfortunately, it seems that vision was not shared by many of the new members of the 2019 CMEA exec. And after their first year, just think about that, your first year coming on board as an executive, they have chosen in poor taste to sabotage all of the efforts to present the Muzaic Festival weekend. That is unacceptable. This year, and God forbid if they should really be selected to lead the CMEA, it will surely be the end of the Muzaic forever. That's something to think about when you come to the AGM on March the 1st. And I'm not campaigning, I'm just giving you the facts. Why is this important to continue, you may ask? Why is it important to have this award ceremony? Well, I would once again like to remind you that 10 years ago, 11 years ago to be exact, the CMA didn't even have a presence on the local music calendar, much less a calendar event such as the Muzaic Festival. It's taken 12 years to create and carve this event on our calendar. Think about if we were to abandon it now, how long it may take us to reestablish something like this again. Unfortunately, but truthfully, in the past it seemed as though we were just a theoretical association of musicians, languishing on the skirts of the cultural umbrella, trying to make matters, and to make matters worse, it appeared as though live music, musicians like Mr. Henry Leslie, put your hands together for Mr. Leslie, please. It seemed as though musicians and live music, which the CMA had been originally created to defend 37 years previous, had been defeated and overcome on the local entertainment scene by technology and the advent of the DJ. No one wants to hire a band anymore. No one wants real live music. Everyone seems to just want a DJ who's going to come in and play records. Unfortunately, that is something as well that needs to be addressed with our current intellectual property laws. There are many, many regulations that need to be put in place to level the playing field once again for the player of live music. Similarly, our grand finale to the Muzaic Festival weekend tomorrow will feature 3 of our local member bands performing live on the national stage in Heroes Square, post-Heroes Day Awards being given. This is a true testament to our positive and ongoing relationship with the Protocol Office, the Ministry of Culture, and the Cayman Islands government in general. We therefore give thanks publicly to all I just mentioned, particularly the Protocol Office, Radio Cayman, Hurley's Media, the Caymanian Times, and the Ministry of Culture. And we thank you all for your support of this year's Muzaic Festival. Last but not least, to all CMEA members, musicians, DJs, and technical support who volunteered their time and services for this year's Muzaic Festival, I say thank you. You know, if you weren't on the beach on Friday night, at the public beach where we had the DJ showcase, you wouldn't understand what it means to stand up. The police came at 7:30 because the neighbors complained about loud music. I sent them away. I said, nah, man, you can't complain at 7:30. That's not right. Come back at 12 o'clock. We're not turning down the music. This is our public beach. It's our right. You have a right to peace and quiet. And I also have a right to enjoy our public beach and a right to celebrate our national heroes. That's what this weekend is about. What are you going to do about it? I say you support the Muzaic events. Next year, you make sure you come out to the Muzaic Festival weekend. All of the events, not just the award ceremony. You come out to the DJ showcase. Bring your wife. Bring your kids. It's our public beach. It belongs to you. If you don't do that, And I can tell you what's going to happen soon. I'll prophesy that. It'll become another hotel. And you won't be allowed to go there either. So figure it out. Truth. Unfortunate, but true. However, it could be better, speaking about the relationship with the Cayman Islands government. And I hereby, again, ask the political leaders of today to ensure that entertainment, particularly new live venues, are considered. We need more places to play. It used to be Royal Palms, La Fontaine, Galleon Beach. You had Inferno. You had the Blue Horizon. You had on and on and on, you know. We had venues to play at. Holiday Inn. However, it could be better. It really could be better. And I'm asking for more live venues to be considered, recommended, and approved, particularly for all new hotels. You shouldn't be able to get a hotel license in the Cayman Islands unless you're going to follow the old format. You have to have a nightclub in your hotel for entertainment for your clients and your guests, and that creates work for local musicians and exposure for local artists. That's important. So all new hotels to be developed on the island should be required to have a venue, as there's a lack of proper live music venues on the island now compared to yesteryear. We're going backwards. More live music venues means more jobs for local musicians and a base for a stronger social fabric of integration to be woven into our communities. Yeah, that's where we rub shoulders together. That's where when you came to the island, you got to know the locals, you got to know how the locals operated, and everything was irate, everything was cool, you know? A stronger social fabric of integration to be woven in their communities and their tourism product. This would truly be a renaissance of the live music conditions of yesteryear, and that is something that we all seek. In spite of our many regrettable personal losses, the constant public backstabbing by fellow execs of this year's CMEA, and their ongoing obstacles, I am happy to report that overall, we maintained in 2019. We didn't grow, but we maintained what was there. And hopefully, with the democratic election of a new exec this March the 1st, we will continue to grow again in 2020 because there is still much work to be done. Regrettably, in the Cayman Islands, musicians and entertainers are still the only professional vocation without a government-enforced pension plan or insurance. That affects many of our elderly musicians, some of whom we're giving lifetime membership awards to tonight. These guys have played for 50 years. Think about it. Most jobs you'd have retired a long time. Why are they still doing it? Because they have to, but also because they love it. Mr. Howell, 105. Why is he still doing it? Because we love it. That's what we came to do. So as a result of this, many of our ailing musicians of yesteryear consistently have to reach out to the CMEA for assistance. This, therefore, suggests a problem and one which must be solved. However, due to naysayers, particularly the backstabbers on this year's CMEA Executive Committee, this year, the Sounds of Love, our answer to the problem, our annual benefit concert, didn't take place. Needless to say, it is with great disgust that I have to report this to you. But unfortunately, the truth is not always good news. Remember that. The truth is not always good news. As a result of the many untimely losses of our musical peers in 2018, we created a new calendar event in 2019. A Night with Legends was created from an old idea to honor vintage bands of yesteryear. It was all about the bands yesteryear. All about the bands. Settlers, Radler Gazong and the Happy Boys, Strong Hands of Tomorrow, Humble and the Meek, MOJ, Juveniles, Network Band, Desperados, so many bands. So last year's Night with Legends honored the bands of musical icons Mr. Wesley Howell and Mr. Alan Bunny Miles. I'm talking about the Caymaneers and the Tornadoes. Hopefully this year, if the naysayers are not elected to take control of the CMA, we will once again be able to continue this event and honor the Settlers and Radley Gazong and the Happy Boys. Two more of our live local bands of yesteryear who deserve the accolade. They worked for that. Unfortunately, the current government budget was unable to once again include funding for the popular Harbor Night Street Festival, created by Youngblood Productions in 2017 in association with the CMEA, as in previous years. This year, with the new executive board that will come on, we will continue to strive for the revitalization of Georgetown through music and entertainment, not through aesthetical change. Georgetown needs a heartbeat. It needs a soul. It needs life. It needs entertainment. It needs music. It needs something for people to do. It's the most beautiful capital in the Caribbean. Though the CMA does not have an official office yet or in headquarters, I would once again like to thank Mr. Ralph Lewis of the Caymanian Times, who has kindly donated his boardroom to this current exec for our weekly meetings. I know I have said this every year in this president's address, but I am still optimistic and looking forward to the day when the CMEA finally has an office, a headquarters. Could be a little 12 by 12, but it needs to be something. Somewhere where we can conduct business and call home. I still look forward to the day when the business leaders of our community and the government of the day no longer just pay lip service to this music as an art form, but recognize the true value of music and its integral role in our cultural heritage and growing tourism product. I am still hopeful. All of our annual events, and particularly a niche event such as our Muzaic Festival weekend, which has taken over a decade to create and position on the local calendar, not only bring about immeasurable public awareness of the CMEA as a body, but also highlight the wide and varied array of talent within its membership, while selling the experience to the discerning tourist and visitor. Not just a destination, an experience. That's what Caymankind is supposed to be. Anyway, let me cut this short. As you are all aware, we are really here tonight to honor all those who have paved the way to this milestone and built the foundation for those who continue to blaze the trail towards international recognition of our music and our islands. That is what the Muzaic is all about. To date, we have honored 120 of our peers and created 13 musical icons from among our colleagues and our peers. Tonight, we will continue to build and grow by honoring the many musicians and DJs who have contributed countless years of professional service and other enviable works that will surely live on for future generations to come. My fellow musicians, individually, we all aspire for respect, some for recognition, some for greatness. As my friend Junior Gong says, everybody wants to be somebody. But only together can we truly be the force that our music needs and deserves from us in a growing island nation such as our own. Our role locally and that of music internationally is social harmony. And universal unity is a fact that can never be questioned or denied. I therefore challenge you all to rise to the occasion with harmonious voices. Let's sing from the same hymn sheet. Let's build the CMA and go forward. Continue to build. This is truly our finest hour, and without all of you here tonight, the Muzaic Festival would still be but a dream. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. And remember, your continued cooperation and best efforts are always truly appreciated. Enjoy the award ceremony, everyone, and God bless. Long live live music and the CMEA.
Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Cayman Islands Music Entertainers Association of the Cayman Islands. Music is an important part of our culture, as with any other part of the world. You are sitting in a theater established back in the mid-1980s as a result of significant effort when our population base was only 15,000 people. You are sitting in a cultural village which includes our National Gallery next door, which was established about 7 years ago in its present formative structure. Music has continued to be a part of expression, a part of our liberated expression, regardless of political flavor or persuasion, spiritually, or in any way hindered. Thoughts on every aspect of life is expressed in music, and so much here in the Cayman Islands as well. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight. Please give yourselves a round of applause for being here. An important award for up and coming musicians will be presented by the 16 bars to L.A. Big Harv and Epiota. The award this evening to the young musician will be coming up after our long service awards, and then we'll have an international success award, and then we'll be having a Song of the Year award. Later on, we'll be having a performance by Palante. Then we'll have an intermission, and then we'll be coming back to enjoy the rest of our program. So that's a view of our lineup. Later on, we'll be talking about our icon band. We'll be talking about 6 lifetime awardees and our icon award in finale. Our long service award is going to be presented by Mr. Edlin Miles. Mr. Edlin Miles is one of the charter members of the Cayman Islands Music Entertainment Association. He has also been an active musician, comes from a musician's family where more than 2 members of his family have been involved on the musical scenes over many, many years, starting in the early 60s. Please give your hand to Mr. Edlin Miles as he comes forward to make 4 presentations to long service awardees in this CMA Awards program. Mr. Edlin Miles.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome tonight. We appreciate you coming out here tonight because it's a very special occasion. As far as music goes, and entertainment on the island, what can I say? It's been a long, long time I've been involved in this thing, over 50 years. Think about it. I look like, 40? What he said? Patting myself on the shoulder. That's good. I feel that way, though I feel young. I'm about to make some presentations to some awardees here tonight, so I would really appreciate you give them the applause that they deserve when they come to the stage. The first long service award that I'm about to present tonight is for Mr. Perry Smith. But unfortunately, he's not with us tonight because I think he's off island. But just to let you know a little about Perry, Perry was only about 12 years old when we brought him into the music, on the music scene. Me and my brother, Bunny, we had to take him from home from his parents, and at the time, we had to assure the parents that Perry had to be back home. We had to not only take him from the house, but we make sure that he was brought back to the house. Perry, a drummer, he was playing drums at the time. Now he's a frontliner. That's what we call a frontliner, the man up front singing. And Perry now sings and entertains with Los Tropicanas. And you can see him entertain or hear him entertaining at Peppers, I think, mainly. That's where they entertain mainly, at Pepper's restaurant. So without further ado, I'd just like to, on his behalf, he's not here, congratulations to Perry on his long service award. Another recipient of the long service award in the music business, he's also a past president of the Music Association. I'm not sure if he's here tonight as well, but if he's here, I would like him to come up and stand. And it's no other than Mr. Spencer Merrin. Is he here tonight? He's not here, but give him a big round of applause. That's Mr. Spencer Merrin. Another recipient of the Long Service Award is no other than the man who was up here before, Mr. Sean Eric Smith. Before we talk a little bit about Sean, I'd like you all to give him a big round of applause because I think he deserves more than that. Mr. Sean, can you present yourself to the stage, please, so we can give you your award for long service, an excellent job in your position. So you do it. In Honduras, the people will say, "How we do's it." No offense, please. How we do's it.
This is how we do it.
Woo! You know what I'm talking about. Give it up for Sean. What can I say? You've heard more than what I could actually say tonight about Sean. All I know that he's a brilliant leader. He's a brilliant entertainer. And Sean has the guts of a tiger. He will fight for you if you're scared. He'll fight for you. But I'd like Mr. MC to give us some of the script on Sean, or MC, Mr. Carl Brown.
I'm Sean Eric Smith, otherwise known as Notch, has been prolific on the music scene. Now there's great difficulty at times to be a leader while being an artist. And sometimes there is a bit of pain with either. However, talent usually succeeds beyond challenges, and Sean has been involved on not only our local music scene, but has been able to travel around the world representing the Cayman cultural thread. We'd like to thank Sean for his commitment from formative years, and his length of service is as long as his hair. And like to hopefully would like to have his hair continue growing long for his service to continue to the Cayman Islands. So please give a round of applause to our president, Jean-Eric Smith. That is the French pronunciation for the word.
Thank you very much. I gave a lot of awards over the past 12 years, and I figured that it was time to actually, well, my name came up several times, and I said, no, it's not my time yet. It's not my time yet. We've actually run out of names to give the Long Service Award to, so I'm actually at the last of the list currently. This piece of mahogany means a lot. I'd like all the young musicians in the house to still be doing this 25 years later to make sure that they get their piece of Cayman mahogany. Yeah? Very important. Thank you so much.
At this time, I'd like to call on Emilito and Big Harv from the West. Please come forward. They are the winners of the song competition, 16 Bars to LA. And they'll be presenting. And they'll be presenting to Nail Arana, our Young Musician of the Year. Please come forward, Nail. So Nail is an up-and-coming Caymanian violinist. He has served as the fiddler for the Cayman National Folk Singers, and he's participated in the Butterfield Young Musician of the Year competition several times over. He's also played the soundtrack for the Cayman Drama Society's Diary of Anne Frank production. Currently, he is studying mathematics and computer science in the United Kingdom, but he can be heard playing at various events with Bonafide Cayman whenever he returns to the island for vacations. He also produces music electronics for YouTube, where he has a channel that has 87,000 followers, subscribers, and millions of views. I'd like to invite Nail to come forward. I'm thanking him for he's not here, so there's somebody here to take, his dad is here, a proud dad. So go ahead and make presentation. Yeah, turn around. Please. You would like to say something?
Thank you very much. I wouldn't be necessarily classified as young, so just for complete transparency, I am Francis Arana, Niall's father, and when he called me, and when your child calls you from overseas, you panic, because you're not sure what's happening, but luckily it was the good news that he called me to express that he was being given an award, and not being in the Cayman Islands, that if I could pick it up, I said, oh, I'm so relieved and happy. But he just wanted you all to know that he was very, very humbled by the experience, and gratified, feel very, very happy, excited that he got this award and the recognition. So on behalf of Nail, I say thank you to CMEA for this award. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a young Nail Arana coming up, and he is using both sides of his brain. Music, it is said, furnishes a lot of energy to help you to maximize your intellectual performance and music itself brings alive the entire mind to be able to command the exploitation of scholastic ability. So we look forward to a lot more coming from a young scientist and a young musician. Our next award is is going to be presented by Josh Pearl. Josh Pearl, are you here? I'd like for you to come forward. Josh is coming. And this award will be going to Rico Oret. Rico Rolando, sorry. Now, Rico is here as a part of young and up-and-coming musicians who have been able to place the Cayman nameplate, nomenclature, on the international scene. He is a part of Goldfire Records. And he was born in the Cayman Islands and began singing at a tender age of 12 years old when his mother, Nina, discovered his talent. Nina, all right, is a remarkable musician on her own, and her iconic voice is wedded to the national song being played at night on Radio Cayman. And I worked with Nina at a newspaper back in about 1984 it was. I was an editorial cartoonist, and I was able to witness Nina's musical talents now distilled in her offspring, Rico. Now, over the years, Rico has been involved in a lot of international programs, involved with Alicia Keys, Pop Kane, Spice, Kamani Marley, who is part of the Robert Nesta Marley clan. He's been involved with Chronix, an up-and-coming singer in Jamaica, Becky G, Jeremiah, and most recently, Rico was on the stage at Kaboo, which was an international platform enabling us to project to the world. In late 2018, Rico was driving on the West Bay bypass when a vibrant family of 4 blasted his song Sideways through their car speakers. From there, Rico Rolando had dinner with this family and soon discovered that his life would be changed forever. The record label 5 Goldfire was born with the combined forces of Rico, Vasco, Leo, Tech Mugel, Frank Schilling. From the creation of Goldfire, a total of 10 Caymanian artists were signed to the label, including acts like Ofri, Josh Pearl, Cottrell, Lonnie Love, and Theodoro. Now, if you happen to have listened in any way to any of their music, your hair would stand on end because of the significant international quality that they have brought to the international sound of the Cayman Islands, but also for the fact that they are young Caymanians with our accents. Rico recently released his debut album, Taurus Truth, in November of 2019, which has been streamed over 1 million times and skyrocketed to #1 on Amazon Music globally, beating out acts like Celine Dion, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and more for the coveted top spot. Rico continues to make hit after hit with the help of his side head producer, Vasco, and is currently working on his sophomore album, T2. His up-and-coming album will be sure to lead you to a new layer of his sound, and will pull you into the world of a Taurus. Please welcome our up-and-coming rising international star, Rico Rolando. We're looking for the person who's going to be doing the Ladies and gentlemen, please do not deprive yourself of the opportunities of getting these autographs because they're going to become valuable in a not too distant future.
Thank you. Hello, Cayman. Hope everyone's doing good tonight so far. This award for best international success has definitely really shown me that no matter what you do in life, like anything is possible. I could remember, obviously, when I was 13 years old and singing at my mom's concert, that I never thought that all of this would really happen, and to see the really success of not only just myself but multiple artists like Josh, Teodoro, Lonnie Love, Vasco, Cottrell. There's just so many of us that are up and coming, and it's just a really good opportunity. But I would also like to thank my label, Go Fire. It started last year with only myself and Vasco, and now we have about 10 local artists so far, so it's definitely a great pleasure. My mother, my grandmother, of course, my family and friends, my father, my management at Go Fire, also my other label artists, Teodoro, Cottrell, Lonnie Love, Vasco, Oprihe, Josh. It's definitely a pleasure to be working with all of them. Also the Cayman Music Association. And then also all the OG artists. There's so many of us that have really risen before me and have really proven to me, like when I was 13 years old, I just wanted to be a part of the Is. I just remember growing up and I was like, you know what, one day I'm going to be a part of the Is. And unfortunately that didn't happen, but they definitely mentored me into this position that I'm in right now. So thank you guys as well. Also the new up and coming artists. There's so many of us now that are 13 years old that's recording from their own room, that's their own producer. So big up to you guys as well. And beyond talent, it really just takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of networking. But once you're in the position that you're in, it's also a good help to push others in that direction, because you don't know like how they're feeling or what's going through their mind of where their talent may go. So definitely big ups to everyone, and hope you guys have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rico. Looking forward to hearing a lot from you and your crew. This crew has left a significant fingerprint on the international scene in a very short time. They're all, they're all Caymanian youngsters. They have had a dream, and now they are working to make sure it comes through. Please do your curiosity and go online and look for their music. You will be amazed at the lyrics, at the significant messaging that comes through. And please listen to Radio Cayman when they're interviewed, because they are and have been very much remarkable in representing Caymanian youth in a sense that has not been highlighted enough in and around our community. So please, round of applause to international stars. Our next award goes to the Song of the Year, which is Lonnie Love. The presenter is Mark Lee of C99. Mark represents one of our local radio stations that has become an important part of music genre and segmentation in the Cayman Islands. Please welcome Mr. Mark Lee, who is going to make a presentation to Lonnie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be here representing Hurley's Media tonight, and of course representing Z99 as well. When I first arrived on Ireland and was very blessed to be here, just coming up towards 3 years ago, I was astounded by the talent that we had here in Cayman. I heard songs on the radio when I first joined Z99, and they sounded like incredible international artists that you would hear every single day. And I remember asking my fellow colleagues at the time, oh, you know, I don't necessarily know this artist. And, you know, where are they from? And they said, they're from here in Cayman. And I was just astounded by the talent, the songwriting skill, and the overall sound of the music that our local artists here in Cayman were producing. Over my time here over recent years, I've had the absolute pleasure to meet all of these artists from here in Cayman, and to see them nominated this year for Song of the Year, for Local Song of the Year, is an absolute privilege and a joy. I get to call a lot of them friends now, and that makes it all the more amazing to see them on this stage as well. So earlier on in this month, the president, Mr. Notch, and I would like to thank the association for allowing us to be involved as well, came to Hurley's Media and all of our radio stations, Z99, Bob FM, REFM, and of course Rooster 101, and said we'd like to put your skills to reach out to the community and the public here in Cayman to decide Song of the Year. From the list of songs that we play, especially on Z99, we created a short list of candidates that we've played over the last year from 2019 into 2020 that we felt were very deserving. The nominations this year were indeed Lonnie Love's song, Waiting for You, Rico Rolando, who just you saw up here a moment ago, Sarah McTaggart and the rest of her team that make up Transviolet, the Hamptons, Ben Hudd and the lovely Shamika Clark, Lucky, the very talented Danny Loops, and Rock With Me, Teodoro, All This Time, and the amazing winners of the Cayman Rap Competition, produced by Ben Hudd, Jay Nez, Big Harv, and M. Lito, Ain't Nobody Like Her. That list, absolutely, that list of artists that you just heard there represent some of the very best that Cayman has to offer. I'd also like to thank Frank and Sam from Goldfire, from the record label, the money, the time, and the effort that they've invested in our local artists is absolutely phenomenal, and I'd like to thank them very much for starting Goldfire and recognizing the talent that we have here in Cayman. Last year, our winner, who you saw him on this stage a little bit earlier on, was Josh Pearl with Hunted. It was a great song. People loved it on Z99. And you would be amazed the number of text messages and WhatsApps that we get into the studio asking for our local artists here. And especially on Z99, we play a local artist every single hour throughout the day, every single day. And that's something that we are very proud to do, and we feel very honored to do as well. I'm very blessed, like I say, to know these amazing artists and having interviewed them many times. The work that they've been doing with the record label, with Goldfire, and the rest of the team and the association, and Notch just champions our local artists all the time as well, is really incredible. And the success that they're having on the international stage is truly heartwarming when you look at the different platforms and the different ways people can consume media now, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's listening to the radio, whether it's using things like smart speakers like Alexa now. There's so many choices, and the number of streams and the number of listens that these songs have had really prove the quality and amazing talent that our local artists here in Cayman have. So it's a great pleasure. We put out those 7 artists to the people of Cayman. It wasn't down to me to decide because, to be honest, I'd never be able to choose because they're all so talented. And we asked the people of Cayman to vote via the websites at Z99, at Bob and Rooster and Irie. And the votes were just astounding. The number of people that were voting for these songs was incredible. And it brings me great joy and much happiness to ask Lonnie Love to join me on stage for Local Song of the Year as it goes to Waiting for You. Lonnie Love.
Waiting for You, Lonnie Love, on his way to international stardom.
I'm actually really surprised that I won. But I'm so grateful, and music has always been a great part of me, and it's always been me sharing my story in lyrics and in melody that basically words can't express that the way that melody can, and music has been my freedom. Every time I do music, it allows me to feel like I'm living. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have put out one song last year with all the hard work I've been doing last year to really showcase in this year to have it win Song of the Year. So I can't wait for everyone else to hear what I've been working really hard on with the team at Goldfire. And again, I'm so grateful, and to all of the young upcoming artists that's been doing their music. You guys are so talented, and technology is becoming so much more cost effective that you can literally do what major stars do from your bedroom, like what Rico was saying, and being a part of the Is as well, and just seeing that all through, and Rico saying what he said earlier when he was 13 and wanted to be a part of the Is. I think that's awesome, and it's great that you guys are doing this and lifting up the homegrown talent here in Cayman, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have won Song of the Year. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not miss the opportunity of seeing this gentleman's shoes. Another bit of his expression as an artist. That voice print will never leave you. That deep bass, please listen out for a lot more coming from Lonnie Love. At this moment, we are going to invite the band members of the Dr. Chris Williams' Cuban ensemble, a Caymanian Cuban ensemble. I'm going to ask them to come forward, and they are going to give us a remarkable performance. A little snippet about our ethnology. The Cayman Islands is and has been remarkably blessed. Our formative years in the early days of early permanent settlement, 1680s, latter 1680s, we were fundamentally DNA'd Welsh, Scot, Irish, English, and Africans. And then plantation society ensued. And then our phenomenal years in maritime performance, making us some of the finest mariners in the world, enabled our ethnic origins to diversify. Sailors travel afar. When they come back, they bring their souvenirs with them. Wives from all over the world, from Europe and Asia, and from the Caribbean. Part of our heritage is fingerprints throughout the Caribbean. Fingerprints from as far away as Belize and Nicaragua, Colombia, where we taught those people how to make wooden ships, because our prolific maritime heritage was also involved with the making of tall sail ships. Our heritage also extends to Jamaica, naturally, and also to Cuba. And a good 30% of Caymanians' ethnic origins have their DNA fused with a bit of Latin influence from Cuba. In fact, the Isle of Youth in Cuba, in southern Cuba, was predominantly settled by Caymanians over 100 years of settlement. And as much as Spanish was the major language, the Caymanian way of life was distinct. Their maritime heritage, their culinary arts, and their cadence in English, which had an overlay of Welsh, Gaelic, and Scot, and a little bit of infusion of African. So tonight, we're going to be experiencing a little bit of our heritage, which is fused, Latin-wise, to the island that is just 90 miles north of us and part of our family circle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm welcoming this evening the Dr. Chris Williams Band and Ensemble of Cuban music. you agree that we need a little more? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the Dr. Chris Williams Band. We are about to take an intermission for 20 minutes, and going to be back here in 20 minutes. I'm going to ask you to avail yourselves of refreshments, which will be served right behind where my hand is pointing. And then we're going to be coming back to a little bit of entertainment and some other awards.